Once upon a time, in a small village in Japan, there lived a young man, Dakota. He was a hard-working individual who dedicated most of his time to earning money and satisfying his desires. He had no time to think about morality or spirituality. He was known in the village as a playboy who had a lot of girlfriends, and he didn't care about the consequences of his actions. One day, as he was walking around the village, he stumbled upon a group of people listening to a wise man named Gautam Buddha. He had heard about Buddha, but had never really paid attention to what he had to say. This time, however, he felt compelled to listen to the wise man's words. Buddha was speaking about the importance of living a life of morality and spirituality. He talked about the consequences of our actions and how they affect us not only in this life, but also in the next. Dakota was intrigued by Buddha's words and decided to listen more carefully. As Buddha finished his speech, he noticed Dakota standing among the crowd. He walked towards him and asked him his name. Dakota told him his name and shared his story with Buddha. He told Buddha about his carefree lifestyle and his addiction to sex. Buddha listened to Dakota's story patiently and then said, "Dakota, you are wasting your sperm. Every time you engage in sexual activity, you waste a precious resource that could be used to create life. You are not only harming yourself, but also the potential lives that could be created from your seed." Dakota was taken aback by Buddha's words. He had never thought of his sperm as a precious resource. He asked Buddha, "What shall I do then? Shall I stop having sex altogether?" Buddha smiled and replied, "No, Dakota. Sex is a natural and beautiful thing, but it should be done with love, respect, and responsibility. You should not waste your seed on frivolous and meaningless encounters. Instead, you should focus on creating a loving relationship with someone who shares your values and principles." Dakota was inspired by Buddhist words. He had never thought about sex in such a profound way. He decided to change his ways and started living a more responsible and moral life. He stopped chasing after meaningless relationships and started looking for a partner who shared his values. Months passed, and Dakota had not engaged in sexual activity since he had met Buddha. He felt proud of himself for having the strength to resist his desires. However, he also felt a sense of emptiness and loneliness. He had not been able to find a partner who shared his values, and he started to doubt whether he would ever find true love. One day, as he was walking around the village, he stumbled upon a woman who was struggling to carry a heavy load. Dakota rushed to her aid and helped her carry the load. As they walked together, they started talking and getting to know each other. Dakota was pleasantly surprised to find out that the woman shared his values and principles. They both felt a connection and decided to start a relationship. As their relationship progressed, Dakota realized the true value of sex. He'd always thought of it as a physical act, and now he saw it as a way to express love and create life. He felt grateful for Buddha's advice, which had led him to this point in his life. Years passed and Dakota and his partner had a beautiful son. They raised him with love, respect, and responsibility, instilling in him the same values and principles that Dakota had learned from Buddha. Dakota felt grateful for his life and knew that he had made the right choice by listening to Buddha's advice. Dakota continued to listen to Buddha's teachings and attended his lectures regularly. He learned about the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, and he tried to apply these principles to his everyday life. He realized that living a life of morality and spirituality was not an easy task, but it was the only way to find true happiness and inner peace. As he grew older, Dakota became a respected member of the community. People looked up to him for his wisdom and guidance. Dakota was filled with joy and gratitude. He knew that Buddhist teachings would continue to guide him throughout his life, and he would continue to share them with others. He knew that his journey was complete and that he had fulfilled his purpose in life. He left behind a legacy of wisdom, love, and compassion, and his spirit would continue to inspire others for generations to come. In conclusion, the story of Dakota teaches us the importance of living a life of morality and spirituality. It shows us that our actions have consequences and that we must take responsibility for them. it also teaches us that true happiness and inner peace can only be found by following a path of wisdom and compassion. What we have learned from this story, the story of Dakota and Gautam Buddha, teaches us several important lessons. Firstly, it shows us the importance of living a life of morality and spirituality. Dakota's initial struggles with sexual morality and lack of purpose in life were only resolved once he began following Buddhist teachings and striving to live a more responsible and meaningful life. By following the Eightfold Path and practicing compassion and wisdom, Dakota was able to find true happiness and inner peace. Secondly, the story teaches us the importance of taking responsibility for our actions and valuing the resources that we have been given in life. Buddha's advice to Dakota about not wasting his sperm was not only about sexual morality, but it was also about the importance of not wasting our time, energy, or talents on frivolous pursuits. Instead, we should focus on creating a life of meaning and purpose. Thirdly, the story reminds us that it is never too late to change our ways and live a more responsible and moral life. Dakota was able to turn his life around even after years of living a reckless and immoral lifestyle. By following Buddhist teachings and striving to live a life of compassion and wisdom, Dakota was able to leave behind a legacy of love and inspiration for generations to come. Finally, the story teaches us the importance of passing on our wisdom and teachings to future generations. Dakota not only lived a life of morality and spirituality, but he also shared Buddhist teachings with others and inspired them to do the same. By passing on our knowledge and wisdom, we can leave behind a legacy of love, compassion, and inspiration that will continue to impact the world long after we are gone. If you like this video, please make sure thumbs up and subscribe our channel, the Anything is Possible tribe. Thank you. Have a great day. Stay